So we have a SQL Server here somewhere in a virtual machine on a host that only requires 4 cores. You calculate the requirements per virtual machine, but you don't assign licenses to that SQL Server. Never. Please don't do that. Why? Because licenses, by default, I'm not going into caveats yet, are assigned to host for 90 days. You assign the license to a host, it may not move to a different host until that 90-day period expires. If you have a cluster and that SQL machine moves here, when you remember that the licenses are assigned to the host and not to virtual machines, then you'll understand that the license may not move with that virtual machine because licenses assigned to the host, again, they're not assigned to virtual machines. If that SQL remained here on this host for 90 plus days, and then it moved to the other host, in that case, it's fine. You may reassign license from the first host to the second host. What if it's a VMware or any other hypervisor with DRS or VM mobility enabled? Then in that case, that VM may move any day. How do you deal with that? You need then to assign licenses, again, to the host, not to the virtual machine. You need to assign licenses with software assurance, with active maintenance. In that case, what software assurance does, software assurance trumps the 90 days rule, and then the license may travel between the hosts. And there was another misconception in my comments. Somebody said because Windows Server has no license mobility, license may not be reassigned. Any licenses may be reassigned once in 90 days from a hardware to a hardware, at least in the server world. There may be exceptions in the desktop world, but we're not touching on those right now. So any license may be reassigned from a server to a server, from a piece of hardware to a piece of hardware, from a hardware partition to a hardware partition once in 90 days, not more often than 90 days. Going back to that gentleman's comment about Windows Server has no license mobility, that comment was true. Still, Windows Server licenses may be reassigned from a host to a host, not more often than 90 days, but they may be. There are 2 license mobility rights. You get both through software assurance. Windows Server has none. Neither license mobility in server farms nor license mobility through software assurance, which allows you to take a license and bring it to a third-party data center. Let's put it this way.